So, tell me something terrible. Yeah, yesterday was the first.
Oh my God. I guess it just didn't dawn on me that yesterday was the first and I haven't decorated for Halloween yet.
Oh no.
I'm so upset.
Your basic whiteness.
It's only basic. Like now I've always been a spooky bitch and I've always liked Halloween. It's always been the best holiday.
True, but I feel like our decor has gone up from like recently.
Well, yeah, because we have money now. In a house that's totally worth decorating.
We've lived in the same house for long enough to actually put shit up.
Yeah, the other one's, 2.5 years?
At most,
before, you know?
Yep.
And now I'm never moving again. I'm going to die in this house.
There you go. We'll bury you in the backyard.
Perfect. Apparently, I'll get buried underneath the corner of a house.
No, I don't think that's what that meant anyway.
No, but something's buried underneath the corner of a house.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anywho, you want to start?
Yeah, we can start. You getting your yawns out?
Oh my God, that yawn almost took my jaw.
Very poorly timed.
Yeah, let me take a sip of this Red Bull.
It'll kick in when we're done recording.
Yep, 10 o'clock at night when I need to go to bed.
Great.
God, that is the worst tasting energy drink. There's no redeeming quality of Red Bull. It's lightly carbonated.
Yeah.
No thanks. Give me heavy carbonation. And it tastes like nothing. It tastes like a chemical. That's all it tastes like.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
A citrusy chemical. Remember when we had COVID and we couldn't taste anything?
No, that was for like 20 minutes for me.
Oh, good for you.
Remember?
Fuck right off. That was the weirdest thing though, was drinking a Red Bull because you couldn't taste it.
The only thing
but
I
that
had
like
was...
that citrus like burn hit the back of your mouth and you could feel it, but you couldn't taste it. It was the weirdest experience.
The only thing for me was coffee tasted funny. And it's still, hot coffee still, I don't know what about it, still just tastes a little off.
That's the only thing?
Like, I just don't like it anymore, and I used to drink it every day.
Oh.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I would drink hot coffee almost every day.
Yeah. You know, at night, you'd be like, would you like a coffee?
And
we even have decaf coffee so you could drink it at night, like dessert.
Yeah. And after COVID, it, like, just doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Well.
Because it doesn't taste as good.
Yeah. COVID affects everybody. I just got my sense of smell back
a
month ago, and I was literally crawling on the ground like Gollum, huffing grass because I could smell it.
Gollum.
Yeah. Gollum. My precious.
I know who you're talking about. I think you called him Gollum.
I guess I did kind of say it like Gollum is a type of fae. Gollum is his name. You're right. I did pronounce it wrong. Whatever. It's getting all of my lore and stuff mixed up.
All right, we got to find it. I'm not yawning in the mic. I'm not doing this to the people.
Okay.
To our beloved, or do you say beloved listeners?
Do I say beloved or beloved?
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on how bougie I want to sound.
Depends how high my pinky is in the air.
Are you ready to officially get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was ready to officially get started like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Remember?
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
And I have a story to tell you about our daughter that I laughed out loud to myself about earlier.
Oh, when I said what? And you're like, never mind. And I was like, what? And you're like, I'll save it for the podcast. I was like, this is dumb.
No, because you had made a call out for one of the things that Jamie has on his stream.
Oh, one of his bit redemption things?
Yes. And that reminded me of Lily. We were sitting and I was showing her something. I was showing her like CDs, like discs on the computer.
Yeah.
Like what they like looked like. And she just goes, discs. the dicks. And I was like, Lily, what
does she think
say?
that's what they say is discs?
No, she knows she knows they say dicks. Because I was like, buddy, but dicks is a bad word. She goes, yes.
But she said discs in the same way.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she purposely made the decision to imitate it with a word that was close enough that was appropriate for her.
She's getting funnier.
Look at her go. It was really good.
Yeah. She's a pretty funny kid.
It doesn't help that we're not very good at not laughing when she makes jokes.
If she's funny, I'm going to laugh. I don't care.
Yeah, and
If she pulls off a dead baby joke, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be kind of worried, but I'm still going to laugh.
Most parents like try to hide that. We're over here openly like guffawing at our child.
No, I mean, it's not like she's 4 and like screaming swear words at strangers.
She did have a day at the end of last school year where an email went home from her teacher telling us how rough of a day they had in class. Some people were bullying.
Yeah.
And so when she came inside, I was like, hey, bud, so we need to have a talk about humor.
Yeah.
You don't say things like this and like to people, and she just goes, I was trying to be funny. And so part of me is like, oh my God, my kid might be a little bit of a bully, but that's because we're a little bit of bullies toward each other, and she can't she's not going to be able to discern that. So we had to have a chat about proper ways at her age appropriate humor and teasing.
Harassment coming from a loving place is different than harassment to like a borderline stranger.
Right. But and so I had to explain to her, I'm like, there's certain ways you behave in class around people you want to be friends with. You got to save it for the different kind of friendships. And so I think our child was an accidental bully last year towards the end of the school year.
Sorry, I had to sit up. I just edited video from like 2 podcasts ago, and my posture was so shitty I had to edit the video so it didn't look like I was like fucking Quasimodo.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like my shoulders were like in my jawline, and I was like, oh boy, look at you, man. Just getting it.
Living the best life over here.
Yeah. Got some weird spine curvature thing. I guess scoliosis goes the other way, but yeah.
No, it can go in as well. My bracelets keep jingling.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
jingle bracelet.
That was. I just thought
that was your tangent.
Yeah, I throw a couple fun stories about our kid in there.
And for the like, whatever.
And who gives a shit? Not everybody gives a shit about the kid, but whatever.
Well, no. But and for like the 4 or 5 people that like the overlap of people that know Jamie and his stream and listen to the podcast, they will think that's funny.
Yeah. Also, Jamie's a bad influence on our child.
Yes, so. That's the moral of the story.
Yes.
Don't let your kid watch streamers.
No. So we're going to.
That was in jest, by the way, as we've streamed as well. Sorry, that cord and I.
This is already going off the rails.
Yep.
Okay.
What's it about today?
It is about Mad Hatter's disease. Ask mercury poisoning. Mercury poisoning is a theme.
Okay.
We were supposed to dress up.
I wore that stupid Mad Hatter costume for a good 6 hours yesterday.
You're not going to put it back on?
We were not about to do makeup again.
No.
Because, no. The hat is, like, I have a pretty big dome.
Uh-huh.
And I get hats, like, costumes aren't supposed to come off, like, easily. Like, you don't want to, like, flying off. But I had, like, a perma ring around my head for, like, a half hour.
I think there might be a little extra lines. It's now groomed your forehead, so now you have 4 wrinkles instead of 3.
Good. That's a forever reminder to you of what I do.
The sacrifices I make for this marriage.
No, see, I would have had no problem. Like, that would have been a great Halloween costume because it was very warm.
Yes.
But it was 70 degrees and sunny out yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
In
70
our
degrees
tropical
and sunny.
climate of central Michigan. Yeah. So I was in like 3 layers, one of which was like a wool fucking like jacket with fabric sticking out of it. What?
I have blisters and wore a corset. I don't like a real corset. None of those mimmy-pimmy ones.
Listen.
Boned in. You have to hold a door to get tied into a corset.
First off, I don't feel bad for you. You have 98 pairs of heels. It's your fault you don't wear them and don't have like calluses built up by now.
Thank you.
And 2, that corset was very loose because it came off really. I wouldn't like not like an inappropriate way, but like. You were not struggling to breathe. You sat and ate a pile of food in it just fine.
No, I told Murphy to make sure she kept it loose because I've worn it tight. And you're like, I have a crooked rib, guys.
Yeah, no, you ate lunch wearing that and didn't like struggle, so I knew it wasn't that uncomfortable.
Like you are misconstruing the truth. Misconstruing the truth.
I was in makeup in too many layers. That is much more of an issue than you being in a corset and heels. That's more of a dream scenario, not a nightmare.
Anyway, Mad Hatter.
Yes.
You suggested it last week.
Yep.
So I tried to find Mad Hatter crimes, right?
Yeah.
I found one.
Are we going to do the Johnny Depp Amber Heard? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
No.
no, that's too soon. It was a really triggering
Well,
trial for
he was
me.
the victim anyway, so the Mad Hatter crimes would have been crimes against, I suppose. Yes.
Well, there's still crimes against Mad Hatters.
Well, and he's not a perfect human being. I'm not saying that,
No,
but still.
but
I just had to make the joke.
yeah.
Had to.
So it was too soon. So there's like a novel about Mad Hatter murders, so it was impossible to like sort through that sort of stuff. And then I found like one reference where somebody wrote like a paper in 1983 about some Hatter, and it was like 3 paragraphs long, and like that was it when it came to Mad Hatter related crimes. Like you were thinking, find somebody who was a Mad Hatter who went crazy and murdered people, right?
Something.
Yeah, couldn't find it.
I have a really not related question.
Okay.
What year was Aesop's Fables written? It just came to my mind, and I was just like, I wonder how old that is. Because
1285. I have no idea.
Because the copy that I remember seeing was like from the 80s, and there's no way it's from the 80s. I'm not saying that. But I just was like, for some reason, when you were talking, it came into my brain, and then I had to ask you, because you're supposed to know these things.
How many Ronas have you had?
Throughout the entire day? Mm-hmm. It's been a long day, and I've had enough.
Okay, you Google that. I'm going to start an actual episode. It's kind of short this time.
Is it?
So, erethism.
I put adopts fables.
Close.
Wait. It's not even an A. It's like a weird.
It's E.
It's the AE combined thing.
Sure.
Sorry, this is way more interesting than I ever thought.
All right. Well, you just tell the people, and I'll sit.
No. I just
No,
I
it's
didn't realize.
fine.
Do you have a guess?
Absolutely not.
Do you even know who Aesop is?
Nope.
Okay. This is the last tangent. I swear to goodness. Aesop's Fables, or Aesopica, is a collection of fables credited to Aesop, a slave and storyteller believed to have lived in ancient Greece between 620 and 564 BCE.
So I was way off when I said 1285.
620 and 564 BCE, yeah.
Yeah. Before hot Cheetos.
Yeah. Anyway, as you were, it was on my brain and I needed to know. And yeah, so we had to do yard work. Okay. I was going to tweet this
You
out.
lied.
I did. You said this is a short one, and so that just told me you have liberty to wander.
I have said one word.
Perfect. No.
And I think I did a good job saying it.
Underrated pairings. People are always like mac and cheese, peanut butter and jelly. Beer and yard work is like a god tier pairing. Like they make each other better. The yard work gets better with beer. Beers taste better when you're out in your yard doing shit you have to do. It's just an underrated pairing. You don't think so?
I'm sure it's actually not an
No.
rated pairing. You are just now hitting peak dad level in your life.
No.
That you're like, do you know the best way as a father to live your life?
People bring
drinking and mowing.
No. People bring up legendary pairings all the time. And it's just never in part of the conversation. I'm just saying it needs to be. That's all. Proceed with your story. I won't interrupt for at least 30 seconds. That's all I can promise you.
So erethism,
Okay.
colloquially known as Mad Hatter's disease, Mad Hatter's syndrome, the Hatter's shakes, or the Danbury shakes, is a slow poisoning from mercury.
Danbury shakes seems a little regional.
It's a town in the United States.
Is it?
And I don't remember what state
It seems like it was in
was.
England.
No, it's 100% because it's
Just
it's called the Danbury Shakes specifically because of a plant that was on the East Coast somewhere in a town named Danbury where the Hatters were more fucked up than most people's.
A plant as an industrial plant?
Yeah, as in like a place where they make hats.
Not a place with roots, or a thing with roots.
No, not the thing that gives us.
You said
oxygen.
plants, and I was like, is it a plant that makes these people? I know it's not.
But
It's mercury. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's like Tennessee or if I can't. Anyway,
Okay.
no, it's a town in the U.S.
All right, I'm listening. I'm here for this.
So, it is a slow poisoning from mercury. Mercury was first thought to be used in hat making in France in the 17th century, and the process included defurring an animal, such as rabbits, hares, or beavers.
Okay.
And the fur is then matted together, and then an orange-colored solution containing mercuric nitrate is smushed into it.
So a Mad Matter would have been better.
A Mad Matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you go mad during the matting portion, not the hatting portion.
Well, it's there when hatters do this entire process. It's not like just the felting of the fabric. They do the whole thing.
Yep.
So you start to go mad at the very beginning.
Terrific.
Yeah. So this smoothed the fibers to then make the felt.
Okay.
This process created a slow chemical reaction that released volatile mercury vapors. So mercury nitrite was an industry secret until, like, just for France, until hatting was brought to England and then eventually to the U.S.
Excellent.
So by the mid-1820s, symptoms of mercury poisoning among hatters was finally described in medical texts in Russia. So this is the
okay.
Yeah.
We're
So
the whole globe's involved.
Yeah,
here.
1600s, right, is when this was used. And it took until the 1820s before they were like, hey, guys, it's a problem.
Yeah. Well, chemicals, like radium girls. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it travels lead.
Yeah.
It travels a little slowly back then. So erytheism is characterized as a neurological disorder that affects the central nervous system and causes behavioral changes like irritability, low self-confidence, depression, apathy, shyness, and timidness. So me in an afternoon.
I was going to say, these seem like symptoms to like every drug we take right now.
So
some side effects may include
all of these things.
Yep.
So long-term exposure to the mercury vapors caused delirium, personality changes and memory loss, difficulty with social interactions, angry outbursts, and vivid dreams. And in rare occasions, it can lead to hallucinations, delusions, and mania.
Okay.
And then, along with all of these mental disorders it causes,
yes,
it has physical symptoms.
Naturally.
Like fatigue.
Now I'm starting to worry about mercury poisoning.
And then a decrease in physical strength.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I got some of the other things. Yeah.
Headaches. General pain. Irregular heartbeats.
Okay.
We're just going down your list, right? With that weird
so far,
arrhythmia that you got every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then telltale tremors.
Okay. I like to think of myself as more of just restless, but yeah.
It's a tick, not a tremor. Thanks for pointing it out. So the pattern of the Danbury shakes associated with mercury poisoning are distinct.
Yeah.
So they would get...
Hopefully Danbury's in Alabama, because we do like that band Alabama Shakes. They got that Hold On song.
You've got to hold on.
Ooh. Just flat as... I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's okay. I was in band for a reason.
Yeah, we don't have a musical podcast.
Yeah. I also don't sing at my normal volume because I would have to pull way far back from the mic.
Yeah. You're already a little far back from the mic, so hopefully that's not a problem.
No, hopefully not. I'm loud enough. So it had a very distinct pattern to it. It starts out as a fine tremor with the hands and then spreads to the eyelids, lips, and tongues. And then the mild, steady tremor would be broken up by the occasional violent muscle spasms.
I mean, I was having that weird thumb twitch for a while.
You were.
And my eyelids twitch all the time. I think it's stress. But
stress, mercury poisoning.
I mean, there legit could be mercury in something I use at work, and I would have no fucking clue. Because I don't, read the product warnings. You're just not supposed to breathe them in.
Yeah. Well, and there's certain forms of mercury poison. I figured out, I remember Mr. Who was you were his student aide. No, you were his student helper in high school.
Oh, the Key.
Nope. The one who did astronomy.
Yeah, Keeler.
Yes, Mr. Keeler. He made jokes about how one of the reasons why he was crazy is because he used to play with the mercury from thermometers when he was a kid. That mercury actually can't cause you harm unless that breaks up into vapors. So if you spill it and try to vacuum it up, you're going to breathe in the mercury vapors. In its liquid form, it's so slippery that even if you swallow it, it can't get absorbed. Okay, I read this in one place, so don't swallow it. I'm not actually an expert. Please don't. Just look at it.
She's saying spit it out. Don't swallow it.
Don't swallow it. Go to the doctors if you accidentally ingest it. But they said that the quicksilver is so slippery that it can't It can't be absorbed through transepidermal absorption.
Okay.
So he probably didn't. He was probably just a weird person.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Keeler.
Shout out if you're listening.
So
I don't think he remembers me.
no. I lost my spot. Okay, so
just keep so-umming it. You're coming back around.
Your eye twitching and finger twitching.
Yes.
So by the turn of the 19th century, European countries decided that they should stop using mercury. So after decades of surveying...
Which made it cheaper, so America started using it more.
Hold on, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So like when I'm saying like turn of the century, I mean like early 1900s.
Okay.
So after decades of surveying hatters and coming to the conclusion...
So saying hats that Queen Elizabeth wore were probably made by people that went mad from Mad Hatting.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just one of the many things that was problematic with Queen Elizabeth.
I don't know. It seemed to pickle her pretty well. She was well preserved.
We still won with Betty White.
Right.
Anyway, after surveying hatters, they came to the conclusion that anywhere between 15 to 50% of hatters had developed mercurial shakes.
Okay.
Something that factory owners swear they knew nothing about and were surprised by. Because if a hatter informed their employer that they had Mad Hatter's disease, they were fired. Or the employers had created the narrative that they could just all blame it on alcohol because poor people drink all the time. Like, these are the scourge. They're all alcoholics. They're prone to it. That's why they've gone crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's probably the only thing that calmed down their tremors.
Probably.
Or their every other horrible symptom you already described. Yeah.
It helps with the hallucinations and the mania. But in the United States, the use of mercury wasn't discontinued until the 1940s, and not because some legislation protecting workers from an extremely toxic heavy metal. We needed the mercury for war. So hat makers switched to the very difficult chemical to find, hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, I believe you can get that.
Like 89 cents a jug, I think, at Walmart.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can walk and get you some at Dollar General. I'll be back before they close at 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they could have been using
I thought I banned metal straws from this podcast. No respect for the audio process.
None. Yeah, so the UK figured it out, and they're like, oh, we should probably switch to something. And it took us another 40 years. And the only reason why they stopped using it is because they needed it for like the dials and stuff on planes and things.
Oh, the mercury? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that seems like it would have been more cost effective along with all of the other horrible side effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 1941, I think, is when they switched. Mm-hmm. Which means there are people alive today.
There's a lot of people alive today.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But I mean, like, there's people alive. Well, they might not have lived this whole life. There's potential that people that had died back then from mercury poisoning that could be alive today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been otherwise.
Yeah. So that's not that long ago. If you
but no, they would have probably been like 100-ish now.
Yeah.
Because you would have had to be in your 20s to be a hatter. Like,
I would imagine it's probably one of those things you got to like really apprentice under.
Yeah.
So nowadays, mercury poisoning is rare.
No, they probably use like the 17, 18-year-old kids to do most of the hard shit with the mercury, with the matting of the fur and all that. That's probably like, yeah.
Yeah, really
it's
embedded
not the
in
actual,
there when your brain is really at the end of its full development.
Yeah.
See how much it affects your frontal lobe.
Still just spongy enough to absorb all that.
Awful. So nowadays, mercury poisoning is rare. It usually comes from consuming too much mercury-contaminated fish or from the rare work exposure, because there are still industries that use mercury, like incandescent light bulbs, thermometers, glass blowing, construction, silver and gold mines, and dental clinics.
Okay.
Yep. That was.
You did have a weird filling facts earlier.
I did.
So I should have been like, why did you know all these weird... But then I don't... I just don't. You listen to so much stuff where I'm just like, whatever. I'll find out about the whole story. She can't keep anything to herself.
So they say they're safe because it's only when it's drilled into or broken where it becomes a problem. But your metal fillings that are still used today, it's 50% mercury.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you accidentally swallow your filling, you should probably go to the doctor.
I really wanted to.
And the lifetime of a filling is 15 years. And I've had some fillings for 20. So
I really wanted to make a Mercury Cougar joke, but I didn't know if you would know that was a car.
I do.
Okay.
I do know that is a car.
And I just didn't want to like make a bad joke about like an old lady like going after Mad Hatters and then have you look at me like the fuck.
Why
but anyway,
cougars?
And it wasn't gonna be that good of a joke, but I was like,
so you thought maybe you would explain it instead of telling it?
I would mansplain my car joke to you.
I really
is that better?
It. Oh, I love you
because I'm
so
such
much.
a car guy.
Tell me more.
I prefaced that in our the TikTok we just made about the El Camino and the PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
That I'm like, we're not car people. I put it in the YouTube Shorts comment. I was like, we're not car people. Just
Absolutely
don't come at us, car people. We just think both these cars are ugly.
Yes.
Yes.
What HHRs are pretty bad too.
Well, those are just like PT Cruisers leftover parts they had to do something with. Yeah.
Yep. All bad. Almost. What were those rounded trucks?
We talked. No, this is literally the conversation we had last podcast. Were you there?
I think so.
Okay,
I'm consistent.
Good.
Anyway, don't stop distracting me.
Or no, wait, that was from Circleville, so that was like 3 ago.
It's jerk.
No way to finish the title.
God, I hate you. Anyway, there are safeguards nowadays put in place to make working environments as safe as possible. If you are exposed to mercury, depending on what form, now and how much, and for how long, or like how you were exposed, like
okay, yeah.
Yep.
People can't hear your hand gestures.
No, they can't. So I already explained the thermometer thing.
Yep.
Anyway, you can experience.
They're still used. Yes.
Yes, you can experience.
Mercury poison yourself. Do they have an exhibit somewhere? I'm joking. Sorry.
No, but that would be great, wouldn't it?
Would it?
So if you depending on how you come in contact with the mercury, you get different symptoms.
Okay.
So and then some of them are bad enough that even if you touch it, like methyl mercury, you're gonna die.
Is this how Quicksilver became a superhero?
Maybe he just cracked open a thermometer and chugged it.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Wild speculation.
I don't know enough about comic book heroes.
So
I'm a fair weather comic book fan.
So
I'll watch the big ones.
Don't task me with.
I've never read a comic book in my life.
Thank God. It's one of the things I absolutely love about you.
I don't have anything against comic book people.
That sucks. I do.
No. Listen, I could take that camera and just really expose us. Not like, but like just around this room of all the weird shit we have. I got no issue with comic book people. I just feel like it's like a show that there's like.
I've just been personally accosted by comic book people.
But like, like Supernatural. Mm-hmm. People are like, oh, it was a really great show. I was like, it's got like 20 fucking seasons. I'm never watching it.
Yeah.
That's too much volume. I'm never going to watch like 500 episodes of anything if I didn't watch it from episode 1. And even then, I'll probably fall behind and give up.
Yeah.
That's my problem with a lot of podcasts. That's why I'm worried about. Like, we're at like 109. I'm surprised new people try to like binge us. I'm like, that's too many. I found us too late. I give up.
Oh, see, I'm not.
And comic books have been out for like 50 years. There's got to be like, you want to like, oh, Spider-Man. There's 9 billion comics with Spider-Man in them. Good fucking luck. Be like, I don't have time to. Where do you even get all of them? And some of them are worth like $1 million. Like, how do you catch up? It's stressful.
Manic.
My heart.
Things that stress
my heart rate.
You out.
My heart rate has gone up. Sorry.
Time is the only thing that stresses you out.
100%. It's the only thing I can't control. Essentially. All right.
We're really addressing some deep-seated trauma in this episode.
If someone gets me a comic hero balloon, I'm going to fight them. Anyway.
Next birthday.
Okay. Go about your business.
So anyway, modern-day mercury poisoning.
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, by the
way. But not that huge. Fuck your comics.
Yeah.
Fuck your Spider-Man balloons.
I'm a Spider-Man fan like you're a Detroit Tigers fan. Like, sure. If you make me pick one, that's the one. Yeah.
I would. Yeah, you're right. The Tigers. Yeah.
See? Mm-hmm. I was going to say, if I make you pick one.
So anyway, mercury poisoning nowadays, depending on how you are contaminated with it, it can result in numbness or dull pain, the
Okay.
tremors, unsteady walking, double or blurred vision, brain damage, blindness, memory loss, and seizures.
Okay, so it's like alcohol. Poison's in the dose.
Yes. It could also result in nausea, diarrhea, and blood in your stool if you eat it.
Pepto.
Coughing, trouble breathing, bleeding gums, and a metallic taste if you breathe it in.
Well, that could just be the bleeding gums.
Yes. Yeah, it could. And then if it's prolonged, chronic exposure, it can lead to death and coma.
That's always the worst side effect.
Yes. So we've got through laughing at all of these things.
Some
Now I'm going to
still
tell
are.
you the
I'll
murder.
Oh, okay. I didn't know actually there's an actual murder. I thought you were just going to talk about mercury poisoning.
No, I would have gone a lot more in depth.
I would not have rambled so much if I knew there was a murder at the end of this.
I'm so excited.
So sorry. I might need another beer.
So, like I said, poisoning doesn't happen very much in modern society unless you worked at a shop in Schloss Hotel Stuckenbrock, Germany, called ARI Amateuren, and had a coworker who was frequently described as conspicuously inconspicuous, named Klaus O. We don't know his last name because of privacy laws in Germany.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of words I didn't understand in there and a lot of letters.
Okay.
Klaus. That's
In
all I'm
Germany.
taking out of it. Oh, nope. Yeah, I got that.
He was
German
described as
factory Klaus. He's inconspicuously inconspicuous or
He's
something.
conspicuously inconspicuous.
Yeah, you're just keep rambling.
Okay. No, those were quotes.
I know.
He was described that way multiple times.
That's a weird way for multiple people to describe someone.
Is how his boss described him.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
23-year-old Nick N's fingers were turning numb the summer he was interning at.
I thought his last name was N Fingers. Sorry. No, I literally was like, because he's German, I don't know what you're going to say next.
This is my friend, Nick N Fingers. Where's he from? Germany. Duh.
You don't know the famous German family, the N Fingers? Okay. Okay.
So,
all these people's names are going to be, last names are going to be letters. I've caught on.
Yes.
I've caught on.
because Germany has better privacy
That's
laws.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I just
So-
need to be prepared.
Nick and his fingers were
Yes.
turning numb the summer he was interning at the metal fitting shop
Yep.
there. Okay. He went home, threw up, went to the hospital, barely able to walk. There, he slipped into a coma.
Okay.
Nick had mercury poisoning, and no one could find out how he could have come in contact with the heavy metal.
Okay.
And then in 2018, a man named Simon Radke,
We have his full last
we
name.
have his full last name, who also worked at the same company, had noticed some white powder on his sandwich he brought to work for his lunch from home.
That he didn't put there.
No.
Okay.
Simon, along with coworker Uda B, we don't have a last name for him,
Uda?
Uda, had been feeling progressively worse over the previous 3 years. From 2016 to 2018, the pair found themselves with growing malaise.
Okay.
Before he...
That's a callback.
Yes, it's
General Malaise.
General Malaise.
Yeah, the Post Malone tattoos.
Yep.
Yes.
That's his next tattoo. That's going to be your first tattoo.
Yeah,
is the
just
General
aggressively go
Malaise.
with a face tattoo
Yeah.
first.
Sir, what happened in your life where you made that choice?
Right?
So, before the onset of fatigue and growing health problems, Simon Radke could run nearly a dozen miles, but by 2018, he could barely walk upstairs.
Okay.
Both Udo and Simon were struck with kidney failure, leaving them couch-bound and on dialysis. No one could figure out what was wrong until Simon noticed his ham and cheese sandwich. There was that, white mysterious powder. And he smartly didn't eat it and thought nothing of it until he noticed it again the next day.
Okay.
And this is when he grew sus.
When he's getting microdosed.
So Simon brought it to the attention of his supervisors, who did the right thing and installed security cameras in the breakout rooms.
The breakout rooms?
Break rooms. Not breakout rooms.
They take a lunch in an escape room. You have 1 hour. Sorry. It's a fun way to keep your employees guessing. Keep them sharp.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And that's actually how they get their lunch. They have to
Things are
get
crazy
the
in
codes
Germany.
to a lunchbox. Yeah. So on the security footage, in walks Klaus, who
Yep.
had been employed at the shop for 38 years. He opens
Jesus.
Yeah.
Klaus was born in the shop. He merely adopted it. Anyway.
So he opens the fridge and, quote, calmly and meticulously pulled food out of his coworkers' lunches, unwrapped them, sprinkled some sort of powder on their food, wrapped them back up as they were, placed them back in the bags, and put the lunches back where he had found them.
I hope he keeps it in like a salt shaker, so it just looks like he's seasoning their food for them, but it's literally whatever mercury powder he's using.
Yes. So, how did you guess?
Yeah.
Heavy foreshadowing at the beginning.
Yeah. When you're like, Klaus murdered someone, let me talk about all these other people.
So, this came as a shock because there was no tension between Klaus and any of his coworkers.
He's just doing it for fucks.
Yep.
Okay.
So he stuck to himself, never made any friends with anyone at the shop, rarely spoke to anyone, electing to wear headphones all day while working.
I work with a lot of those types.
You are that type.
Everybody in the lab's that type.
You are a bunch of scientists, though.
I am about the only... There's like two of us that actually bring a lunch to work, so now I'm a little nervous, but keep an eye out.
Yeah.
I don't know how people go out to lunch every day, 5 days a week. It's bonkers. Anyway, that is a side story for a different day.
I just can't
I just wonder if it's like that everywhere. Like, does every workplace have nobody that brings lunches?
When I worked at Skin Deep, it was really hard to bring lunches.
Whoa.
When I worked at the other
Just
spa.
throwing your company names around.
When I worked at the other spa, most of the time they were short shifts, but you'd still be there for like long shifts. We only had like a large mini fridge.
Yeah.
Like a medium fridge.
Yeah.
And you also kept like stuff in the freezer. It was just really hard for if all of us brought lunches, especially on Saturdays. Like there'd be no way.
Well, there's a couple people at work that bring coolers with like ice packs and they don't put them in the fridge, just leave them out.
Well, we didn't really have a break room at all.
Yeah.
Like it was the bathroom and the washing
Our freezer's
machine room.
full because there's two like 5-gallon, those giant tubs of ice cream that are like the size of like baby coffins. There's
wow. That's some good ice cream.
Right? There's two of those in our freezer and they have been there for like 18 months. So literally there's nothing else in our freezer except these two giant fucking things of ice cream.
For 18 months, they should be thrown out by now.
Correct.
All right, we'll check them for mercury.
I'm going to throw them away tomorrow. I'm going to be the one.
You're finally
The
gonna do
world's
it.
looking for a hero. I'm going to be that hero tomorrow.
And now you also have like if somebody gets mad about it, be like, it was premeditated.
Be like, I saw white powder on there. I didn't know what it was. I don't want to check the cameras, so I just threw it away.
Good choice. So at first, they thought it was just a misunderstood prank. And then Simon brought his sandwich and the security footage to the police. Mm-hmm. So Klaus was arrested in May of 2018.
Okay.
And because this is so painfully cartoonish, he was, of course, arrested with a glass vial of a lead acetate in his pocket.
Okay.
So he literally had
Evidence
on him. Yeah.
Wait, lead? So it's
Yes.
not mercury?
We're going to get to it.
Okay.
So police naturally searched his home.
Which was just white walls with white furniture. And...
No, he had a wife and 2 children.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They found a makeshift lab in his basement, though.
Fun.
Filled with a, quote, number of heavy metals. Like cadmium, good old-fashioned lead acetate, and, of course, mercury.
Okay. So he's been guinea pigging the shit out of people for years?
So, yes. So, with evidence that he was, quote, experimenting with substances that were more dangerous than warfare agents that were used in World War II.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Along with some light reading materials titled Reports of the German Chemical Society from 1913 and Experimental Tuberculosis Research from 1941.
How did he get those and not end up on a list?
I don't
You can't
know.
get the Anarchist Cookbook without being on a list. And this
is
got...
in Germany, though.
That's true. Maybe he probably...
I don't know. The Germans don't put up with Nazi bullshit like we do here.
Well,
so,
he probably,
yeah, he should be on
he
the
probably
list.
like stole them from a library or something, you know?
Probably. Also, at this point, I've ruined my search history, and we have tons of recorded audio, I'm about to just download or try to find Anarchist Cookbook just to fucking have it because we already have evidence.
Don't you get on that list. Don't you raise any alarms to this podcast. We're
trying to fly under the radar.
We are painfully under the radar, so we've successfully managed that.
Oh, look at us go. It's been
Right?
the plan all along.
Yeah. I'm always like, man, I wonder if anyone would ever come after us for like, not like copyright, but like actually like
Slander.
want to see our like sources and shit. I'm like,
That's why I haven't deleted anything from my Google Docs.
yeah, but still, I'm like, there's no way we'll ever be a podcast that anyone actually pays attention to.
Absolutely.
So we've come this far.
We'll get a small cult following, and that's it.
We have that.
We do. We have a small cult following.
They're all listening to this. And
Thanks, our cult
None of us
following.
know why. Just kidding.
So Klaus had been acquiring his chemical weapons by just simply ordering the chemicals from the internet.
Okay.
Yep.
So his search history is fucked.
Yeah. So Klaus was charged with, in my defense, it's spelled Klaus.
Mm-hmm.
And here, that's not. Well, I guess it's Klaus. Yeah, you're right. Literally doesn't matter. Anyway,
It's not Klaus?
it's Klaus. It's Klaus. God, I hate you. God. So he
I
was
don't know
charged.
German.
He was charged with 3 counts of attempted murder. During the trial,
What website, by the way, can you get the just like, I guess it's like science, like, yeah.
sciencechemicals.gov. That's the website.
.net.
On the deep web.
There you go.
You know some QAnon. So anyway, he was charged with 3 counts of attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
During the trial, Klaus sat with barely any interactions and very rarely ever spoke during the trial either, except to properly ID himself to the judge.
Okay.
Yeah, so he
Just
didn't.
yeah.
One of the very few
Clammed up.
times that he reacted was when believe the wife of Simon or mom got up and was like, how much these people have suffered, I wish that upon him.
Mm-hmm.
And he like raised an eyebrow, and that was literally it. Yeah, just deadpan.
Maybe he's been microdosing himself.
Maybe. So he gave
General malaise.
So he gave no motive or reason why he decided that he was going to slowly poison 3 of his coworkers.
Okay.
And a psychologist who interviewed Klaus said that he, quote, approached the poisonings as research and, quote, seemed to me like a scientist who was testing substances on a rabbit.
Okay, so they were his guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Terrific.
Yeah. It's almost like I've told you some,
Similar.
stories, about murder, picking up on a pattern.
A little bit.
So Klaus's only public statement came after his sentencing, which was life in prison in March of 2019, which is really rare to get in Germany, especially for only attempted murder.
Okay.
He said, quote, I fully endorse the remarks of my defense attorneys, and that's it. Yep.
Okay.
So FBI profiler Candace DeLong later said that he simply did it because he enjoyed it, that he chose food because it was the easiest way to dose his victims, and he must have had some sort of sadistic side with an expertise in dosing that allowed him to enjoy watching his victims suffer from a distance.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably like taking notes like on them and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they found like a little that's his little black book?
Yeah.
It's just notes of
Observations.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Klaus is not eligible for reduction in his sentence because the judge deemed that he was a, quote, danger to the general public.
I mean, yeah.
So he's never getting out. Investigators decided to dig a little deeper, finding that there had been 21 deaths of employees at ARI from 2000 until Klaus was arrested.
And that's not even his full tenure then.
Mm-hmm. Investigators began exhuming their bodies to determine whether poison is present in their remains. Mm-hmm. The workers died of cancer or heart attacks. Authorities say that could possibly be caused by heavy metal poisoning.
Yep.
And as of January 2020, 9 of the deaths had been ruled out, but 12 were still under investigation.
That's probably not good for Klaus.
No. And then that same month, Nick N. Fingers... Sorry, this is not... He died while he was in his 4th year of coma. So
we lost his fingers.
Sorry, Nick and Fingers.
Yeah.
So I think eventually they're going to try to maybe change the charges and get it for full murder.
Yeah, I was going to say from attempted to actual.
Yep. So that is modern day mercury poisoning.
Yeah, and not accidental or for lack of information, but for, yeah.
There was a lot of really
Intent.
other ones, like a scientist who died when she literally touched 2 drops of that methyl mercury to her ungloved fingers, and like she wound up dying very shortly after. Like, and they're like, oh, it's unbelievably deadly.
I was gonna say, does it just go straight to your bloodstream essentially?
And there was a couple other murders, but I thought that one was pretty
Interesting.
just wild. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of cast of characters.
maybe it's a good reason to start not taking your lunch to work.
True. I mean, I guess I get a lunchbox with like a padlock on it, but that seems a little paranoid.
You know, at this point, I don't think your coworkers would bat an eye at it.
No, they would.
You
Well,
think so?
none of them go in the fridge, like I said, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
No one even notice.
Yeah, and the one other person that brings lunches would probably be like, "That's a smart idea."
I should do that. Yeah. I mean, somebody did steal one of my utensils, so I don't know.
Like,
know.
not a plastic one, like one of our actual forks.
No, a knife.
They stole one of our knives.
Our little steak knife. Okay, so people like to take knives. Usually they grab a plastic knife and they cut donuts up because no one wants a whole donut every Friday because, like, that's a lot of donut for not fat people. I'll eat a whole donut. I don't give a fuck. Or people have, like, 1.5, I assume.
I would kill somebody for a donut.
Not every week you wouldn't. They're whatever. But anyway, I think what happened is people were...
Says you. I haven't had a donut in 2 years.
I think somebody grabbed, like, the knife out of my drawer because it's, like, in the break room and was
So
cutting.
you have even designated a drawer for yourself as well?
I
Like, this
eat
is
there
my lunch
every
drawer.
day. Yes, I have a knife. I had a fork, a spoon, one of our bowls that says bowls on it. That's where that went. I took it to work.
Oh,
Because if I buy like frozen stuff, I need to
it's
heat
the
up in a
blue
bowl.
one, right?
Blue or green, I don't know. But anyway, and then I have like a random smattering of like Taco Bell sauces and like popcorn bags and just random shit in case I'm hungry. But anyway, I think someone took the
I'm
knife out.
diabetically off me.
I think they cut up donuts, and then at the end of the day, like, as the donut box is empty, people just throw them away. So I think it probably got thrown away because it doesn't exist in the whole break room. Like, it's just gone.
They just thought they'd throw away an actual knife.
I don't think they knew it was in there, but yeah, I think that's what happened.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. Well, if any of Scott's coworkers
And
are
if
listening,
you
he wants his
listened
fucking knife back.
to that, no, there's people that know that I lost that knife. I've brought it up. Not really.
So you just went from passive aggressive to blatantly aggressive. I want my fucking
Just
knife
when
back.
people are
I'll
looking-
sick my wife on you. I want
when
my
people
knife back.
when people are looking through drawers for like whatever, like butter packets or I don't know what the fuck people look for. I'm always like, if you're looking for a knife, they get stolen. So good luck. And then I'm just like, if you need barbecue sauce, I have some in the fridge. It says Rufus Teague barbecue sauce. It's Chipotle.
Have we rambled
It's
on
very
enough?
good. It's very.
My God.
Hold on, no. It's very
this
good
is
barbecue
done.
sauce.
No one wants to fucking listen to us talk.
Okay, where's
this
your
much
sources?
about our lives.
Where's your sources?
Oh fuck me, Jesus H Christ! You are
I was about to say goodbye, but I don't like to edit back in your sources.
Wikipedia.
I've had to do it before.
NPR article: German man who poisoned coworker sentenced to life in prison. DW.com
German
articles.
man who poisoned John N. Fingers.
DW.com articles. German suspected of poisoning coworkers' food goes to court. German man suspected of killing 21 coworkers by
remember-
poisoning their food.
sorry.
Really driving home the fact that this man is German.
Do you remember when we had I don't know if we still have the German listener. I don't look at the locations anymore. But we had one, and we made a German episode. And that's
He was
like
like,
that's
"Nope.
like the one they didn't
Fuck
listen
you
to.
guys.
Because we're like, oh, we should see if the German list. This was like way the fuck back too, like early episodes. Because we like, you can see like what country of origin like your
Yeah.
listeners are from. We're like, oh, we have a German listener. We'll do a German episode.
Look
And
it
then
up,
it's
see
just-
if he's still with us.
No,
After
no.
this, he's like, no, fucking stop.
Right? Yeah.
Anyway.
Is this not chaotic enough for you? You want more elements?
So, and then I also found a clevelandclinic.org entry about mercury poisoning, WashingtonPost.com article. He died after eating a poisoned sandwich on his lunch break. The culprit might have killed others. And then a BBC article, German sandwich poisoning, victim dies after 4 years in coma. And those are my fucking sources.
Those are my sources.
We still have a German listener?
I don't know. I can't tell. Yes.
Oh, yay. Hi, German listener. I swear I didn't do it for you this time.
I just picked a random episode 87 had the German listener listened.
Good.
Let's go to episode 106 since we referenced it.
Okay.
No German listener on that one.
Well, we lost him. We apologize.
Do you want? Okay.
No,
we won't
We're
ramble.
done. Goodbye.
Do you want?
No, I told you we are done. Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMST Pod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.